Welcome to my channel. I would normally say please play responsibly, so I'll just say it anyway. Please play responsibly, because I've normally been doing gambling videos. This is on the subject of gambling, but it's not a gambling video, but I'll say it anyway. I want to talk today about gambling addiction. Now thankfully I'm not an addict. Now I want to show how you can check yourself for signs of addiction. Where am I? This is one place you can go if you feel like you are an addict. So I just found this on Google. There, I typed in gambling forum. This is the first one that came up. There's also a forum for gamblers here that came up, askgamblers.com, which I've joined because this is more of a chat forum for people who actually enjoy the casino games or a flutter on the horses, what have you. Maybe for them to share info, where the best places to play are, what they're up to these days. I don't really know, but I'm going to check that out. And right now on the search, I'm going to say signs of gambling disorder. And I'm going to go through these with you guys. Feeling restless or irritable when you try to cut down on gambling? Thankfully not. No. It's almost the complete opposite for me. So let's look at some of these. The Mayo Clinic's usually quite good. There's all different resources online available. That's drug addiction. The Priory, right. The Priory's a UK, well, it's where a lot of the UK stars who can afford it go when they have problems with addiction, drugs, alcohol or gambling. I don't like accepting cookies, so we'll reject them. I've not got my VPN on, I don't think. So anyway, we'll let these sites cookie us. Maybe it'll actually put more wind block on me when the Google systems all interlink and they find out Jimmy Rabbit's been on these sites. But hopefully they can watch Jimmy Rabbit's channel and find out why he was on these sites. It's for other people's benefit, not his. However, they are also a benefit to me having these resources available, and as I say, I'm going to check myself right now. So let's go down. Gambling addiction is a type of impulse control disorder where you have little or no control over your urge to gamble. Even when you're aware that your actions can hurt yourself and others, and even when the odds are against you. The need to gamble will escalate, developing into riskier bets, gambling with more money, and gambling more frequently. Quote from Dr. Paul McLaren of the Priory Hospital, Hayes Grove. A gambling addiction is characterised by the continuous urge to gamble, despite the negative impacts it can have. Problem gambling can cause difficulties in relationships and at work, while the cost of funding it can become a huge financial burden. Make sure you take this in, guys. I worry about some of the comments I get on this channel. So if you're in need of gambling help, you may find that even when you win large sums of money, the winnings will be used to fund more bets until they run out. Recently, gaming websites have made gambling even more accessible, creating issues for problem gamblers who can gamble at all hours of the day and night. The thrill is linked to risk-taking, which induces a natural high. The effect of this altered psychological state is similar to that of stimulant drugs. In the same way that a drug addict becomes preoccupied by their habit, so too does the gambling addict. So, at this stage, I just want to say that I'm not preoccupied by the habit of gambling. It is something I enjoy to do as an entertainment form, as I'm not much of a TV watcher. So I got kind of into it with having a bit more time on my hands lately with the summer holidays and stuff. That made me start to question myself. And some of the comments from some game providers, game hosts, especially when I felt comments were aimed at me and they were doing these actions like that. So it looked like they were saying, there's your rolls, you junkie, right? So I didn't like that. I didn't like that sort of insinuation that anybody in certain games is one of these types of gamer, gambler. So anyway, I won't make this a very long video, I hope. Hoping to keep it to like half an hour max. As I understand that people do have a much shorter attention span than I seem to have. So, for the most part. So I'll try to make this an everyman video and not an OCD, ADHD freak type video. So, gambling addiction symptoms. I'm going to read this really fast. If you have trouble with my the speed of my speech, then by all means put the subtitles on and slow the video down in the settings. You can put it down to 0.75, but I'm going to try and run through it as quick as possible to get the overall time in this video down. So, gambling addiction may be caused by underlying stress linked to a difficult time in your life, whether this is related to work, relationships, or financial issues. It can also be the result of someone having an addictive personality, sure, prone to compulsive behaviour. There are also fundamental emotional reasons which can contribute to the development and vicious cycle of compulsive gambling, including overcoming social isolation by visiting betting shops or casinos, to feel a rush of adrenaline and dopamine as a happy brain chemical release, numb unpleasant feelings and problems which cannot be easily resolved. Check me out trying to read so fast that I'm actually reading the next word instead of saying the word before it. My brain and mouth sometimes mismatch. Boredom and a desire to pass the time. That's one of the reasons I do partake in the entertainment form which is gambling. However, I'm not sure I'm compulsive. I'm not compelled to right now. Anyway, relax. I'll go through my steps of self-check after I've read these out, and to relax and unwind after a stressful day. Now I feel that these last two are a bit of... I feel like these last two could describe a wide range of people who do actually gamble without them being compulsive gamblers. So be careful with the last two, guys. While these emotional factors may contribute to a gambling addiction, the following may be more visible signs of a gambling problem in either yourself or someone you care about. Loss of control and being unable to manage impulsive urges to gamble, even when the odds are against you. Such as, I don't know, putting on silly bets that are very unlikely to come, I guess. The outside bet horse and putting 50 quid on it. 5 rolls on baller and putting £10 bets when you've only got £200 in your balance. Things like that. Very, very silly things to do, I would say. Gamble when the odds are stacked against you. Problems within the workplace, which could include an increased workload, absence from your work, or general lack of concentration, which makes it difficult to complete tasks efficiently. A preoccupation with gambling and loss of interest in other hobbies or responsibilities, increasing the quantities gambled to recoup lost bets or to experience the same thrill, otherwise known as chasing losses. The first part of that, they're normally broken down into two separate psychological factors. A negative impact upon relationships with those closest to you, concealing the amount of money and time spent betting from family members, stealing money in order to gamble, denial that you have a problem, which is very common with anyone who has problems, addiction problems at least, as I've realised in my life from others, and in self-denial of my own at times. You may also suffer from physical symptoms. These symptoms include anxiety, irritability, headaches, stomach upsets, and stress-related symptoms. Right, that's for other people to treat others. Treating, so, do you know something? That wasn't all that great as a self-assessment tool for somebody who does gamble, because it can make someone, probably a fun player, think that there's a couple of things they hit on, so they'll be like, should I be concerned? So, I mean, I've done these checks before off camera. I'm going through it in a sort of, as if I've just discovered all this kind of way for you. We'll go on to the GamCare forum after. So I'll just go through this right now as if I'm me. So, alright, I hit a couple of those loosely. So, should I be concerned about that? Okay, I need to find more I need to find more signs and symptoms to get more resources, more references, sorry, for this little thing that I'm on here, this little bit of research. We'll just go to the Mayo Clinic. There was a good one that I found before that isn't there. Maybe they've hidden it from me because it makes me look too good. We'll see. Is paranoia at the entire system part of being a gambling addict, or is that just when you play the games with fervour? I'm not really sure. Anyway, we'll go to the Mayo Clinic. So, I may ramble a bit about this on a personal level, but it's just my thought processes as a self-assessor. So signs and symptoms of compulsive gambling, also known as gambling disorder, can include being preoccupied with gambling, such as constantly planning gambling activities, whatever they may be, and how to get more gambling money. So I'm already questioning whether that even applies to me. I don't tend to plan gambling activities. I mean, when I go into the casino, half the time it takes me a few minutes to decide what game I even want to play, and it'll depend on how I'm feeling, and maybe how the game's treated me in the last time I was there and stuff. And how to get more gambling money. Well, the only way I plan to do that is by winning in the games, really. Which is not plannable, it's just your luck. Anyway, I don't think that one applies to me, as I've just outlined. 2. Needing to gamble with increasing amounts of money to get the same thrill. Well, that doesn't if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you might see that sometimes I'll do like 50 pence pound bets, but you'll see that my balance at the time is appropriate for that. And when my balance is little, I cut down the bets, because that's to me what responsible gambling in random games is. Being there hopefully to see things happen, trying not to go bust. That's the journey I'm on those occasions, and it's quite fun. So I don't tend to really need to gamble with any increasing amounts of money to get any sort of similar thrill. While winning £500 for a big bonus is obviously better than winning £50, I don't feel any difference in a 10 pence bet or a £1 bet. If I hit that lucky 500 to 1, I don't feel any difference. I'm just as happy to have seen that happen in the game, whatever game I'm playing at the time. So another one, no. 3. Trying to control, cut back or stop gambling without success. Again, that doesn't apply to me because I'm in control of what I'm doing. So I'd have to say a no. And if you are having trouble, obviously, trying to control, cut back or stop, we can role play that person after I went through it as myself. Let's do that, rather than me ramble about every single one in different angles. We'll just go my angle first and foremost. Feeling restless or irritable when you try to cut down on gambling. Well, because the third one doesn't really apply, the fourth one can't really apply, because I'm not really trying to cut back or stop. I'm never having these feelings of guilt or self being hard on yourself about it and stuff. Gambling to escape problems or relieve feelings of helplessness, guilt, anxiety or depression. Well, listen, I'm a 40-year-old man who's actually quite a clever boy, without blowing my own trumpet too much. So I'm very aware of that they are the reasons that some people gamble. I'm very aware of this. I'll go through those feelings one at a time though, on a personal level. Helplessness. I never feel like that. I never feel helpless. There's always something you can do about anything. Now, it may not be enough to change the whole thing, but if you do something, even say something, then you don't feel helpless. So I don't feel helpless. I try and make sure in life that I'm not helpless. I'm quite an independent person. Guilt. I try to avoid guilt by being a good person and doing the right things. If I ever encounter guilt, it's usually because I've done the wrong things. So I'd rather self-reflect on those wrong things, figure out what went wrong at the time and which caused me to do things wrong, the bad decisions I made and why I made those bad decisions, and try and stop them from happening again. And I mean outside of gambling scenes here, I mean in general life. I try to avoid guilt by not doing shit things. Anxiety. We all feel a bit anxious from time to time. I probably feel less anxious than most about stuff. Call it what you want, bravery or stupidity. I'm quite happy to make a fool of myself in front of a crowd, and things like that, and embarrass others for a laugh. I don't really get anxious. Depression. I probably do get a little bit depressed in the winter because of a lack of sunlight. However, all those things said, I have never gambled to escape any of those feelings. So again, that does not apply to me. Trying to get back lost money by gambling more, chasing losses. I'll go back to what I am, a 40-year-old mature person who has played casino games in various forms for like 20 odd years now. On and off. Again, I'm not an addict, so there may be spells in my life when I do it a bit more, spells in my life when I don't do it at all, and other spells where I maybe play once a week, on a Friday night or something like that. Like when I'm making loads of money, I'll tend to do that. At times in my life when I'm in a good position, with plenty of excess cash, you might find me putting £50 every Friday into my casino pot and not giving a shit if I lose it or not. Instead of the £50 a month sort of level that I'm at just now, which is a safe level for me at the moment. And you can often turn that into nice stuff or extended gameplay, but let's face it, it's not a lot to try and win with, is it? So guess who's not got a casino pot now to play with? So that just happens sometimes, and that's why I'm doing this video, because I'm showing you that even though I've not got a casino pot, I do have money. I do have cigarettes. I do have tea. Can you hear my washing machine? That was £500. We've just got it. There's been a big spend on the house this month, and you know something? Casino play hasn't helped at all this month with any of my shit, and that's fine because last month it helped quite a bit. Anyway, I'm rambling like fuck now. Pardon the French. So, where are we? Chasing losses. I don't do it. Every single casino deposit is a considered spend. And you know that you're probably going to lose it, or that's what the highest probabilities are. I don't want to be too negative about stuff, but the highest probabilities are that you're going to lose your money when you gamble. We all know that. I.e., the house always wins. In the end. Not on a per session basis, which I think what some of the more cocky, arrogant young game show hosts and stuff seem to think what it means. Anyway, as they rig the games to fuck. Did I just say that? Yes, I did. That's what happens. So I don't want people to become addicts because of these rigged games. This is why I'm doing this video. Not the only reason, but I have a responsibility as a casino game video creator to actually have a serious chat with my audience from time to time, I feel, and not just show the 800x Monopoly lives, and not just show the there's lots of things I haven't shown because they're too good, believe it or not, because I don't want to show just the glitz and glamour side of casino play. I'd like to show the general side. The general side is that if you play too much, you'll lose a lot more than you win. Anyway, back to chasing losses. I don't do that. Every casino deposit is a new adventure to me, and I feel that if you look at it that way, and each casino deposit that you make, even if it's fiver, like I do sometimes when I'm being super conservative, I'll say I'm going to allocate £15 spend to a certain game today, because I really want to play it, but I don't want to show too much of my hand to these AI controlled, computerized, rigged games. So I'll show just some of my hand, some of the cash I have available for them to take from me at a time. Now, I don't know if that works or not, but that's just something I do, and I'm letting you know that that's what I do. I'm very aware that it might not mean anything what I'm doing, but it's one way that I can at least put to bed the idea that they know exactly what I've got, which they probably can by looking in your bank account, but that's by the by. I don't chase losses, so I don't qualify for that category. I might have lost £200 out of my casino pot on a certain couple of games in the previous days, and they're still my favourite games, so I'll go back and play them. Now, do the providers think that I'm chasing losses? That's what worries me, personally, not whether I am or not, because I know that I'm not. Because I'm just there. I mean, if the fisherman goes out into the river tomorrow, having lost a rod today, is he want to catch enough fish to survive with today, or does he want to catch enough fish to buy a new rod as well? Is that a terrible analogy? I don't know, I don't think it's too bad off the top of my head, but that's basically it. Gambling's not a way to make money, so you're not going to win back what you lost, usually, unless you're very lucky. So I wouldn't ever suggest doing it. Lying to family members or others to hide the extent of your gambling. Well, one of the reasons I did this channel was to calm everybody down a bit, who saw that their friend or their son, as it were, from a mum and dad's perspective, was spending a bit more time than he used to playing casino games, having a lot more time available to play. So, you know, people have this stigma with casino gaming. Out of all the forms of gambling, there's a stigma in casino gaming that does not exist, in my country certainly, with sports betting, etc. Men seem to be allowed in this society to go on their rounds from the pub to the bookies and stuff, you know, spending their 10s and 20 pences on that, and their 50 pences and pounds if they're a bit, you know, got a bit more to spend, and that seems to be fine. But the minute you start chucking 10, 20 pences and pounds around an online casino, people start to think that you're crazy. So I've got a bit of my bee in my bonnet about that. So one of the reasons that I've done these videos to start with, the games were freaking me out to the point I felt like they had to be recorded. This had to be documented. Secondly, people were pissing me off because I knew how in control I was of this, and they were actually pissing me off to the point when I was like, right, fuck it everyone, I'm going to show you all exactly what I'm doing here. Maybe you'll get off my fucking back a bit. Which did happen in reality. In the casino world, I felt like the providers and the people involved got on my back a bit more and started to jibe me in games a lot when I joined the games. Joined the games. Quite funny really, how I created a little character that isn't even real on the internet, and they try and troll me with that character. They think that it'll get to me, Jimmy, not Rabbit, to troll Jimmy Rabbit, the character I created, which I think is quite funny. But anyhow, risking or losing important relationships, a job or school or work opportunities because of gambling. Well, I don't know for sure if I've lost any jobs or work opportunities because of, for example, having a casino gaming channel, but I can't control people's silly opinions on stuff. I can't control that. Otherwise, I definitely know that none of that has occurred, but the only one question mark would be, does this YouTube channel turn anybody off? I don't seem to have a problem getting a start in work anyway. I sometimes have a problem staying at the place I'm at because the kitchen's an absolute shithole. But that's the luxury you have when you're freelance, that you don't have to hang around hating your life for anybody. So one of the ways that I get around feelings of helplessness, guilt, anxiety and depression, see these four here, in the workplace, is by being freelance in my profession, if you can call it that, in my trade. So I can be more in control of things, such as my hourly rate, the hours that I'm working, and the holidays that I take. There's nothing worse than if you really see a good opportunity for you and your kids, and your work are trying to stop it from happening. So that doesn't happen to me. If I see any opportunities that I want to do, if I want to travel the Sahara Desert this winter on camelback, if I'm lucky enough to have the money to do that, I'll plan my life around that and my other working activities, and try and make sure that I take those months off, those weeks off. I've done that this summer actually. Took a considered approach to being there for my girls during the school summer holidays. I don't want to look back in my life later on and say that, yeah, we had lots of money, but I hardly saw my children growing up, especially when they've lost their mother. I think I really need to be here for them, a lot more than most dads would have to be. So that's a bit personal, but there we are. It all ties in with the feelings that I try and avoid in life by being more in control of myself. Asking others to bail you out of financial trouble because you gambled money away. No, that doesn't apply to me either. So, I mean, if any of these apply to you, you would have to be going on to GamCare Forum. So most casual gamblers stop when losing or set a limit on how much they're willing to lose. Like, I'm probably a casual gambler, to be honest. It's hard to call me that when it's like, when I've got a channel and you know, like, I have such fun in the games that I spend extended play durations on them and stuff. But it is responsible for me at my betting level with a lifestyle I have at the moment. The way that I play casino at the moment wouldn't be compatible with full-time working. It's compatible with freelancing because I am at home on random days. I am at home for extended times at the summer holiday periods and stuff. Well, this year I am. Last summer I was working throughout the entire summer holiday period, but my children were with me at my work site, living in accommodation with me, so it was sweet, actually. It was sweet. So that's pretty much me, a casual gambler. I do set limits on how much I'm willing to lose. Usually my deposit of the day, of that occasion. That's usually, unless, like I say, I have an idea that I'm willing to spend something, but I don't want to show them quite yet that I'm willing to spend it. So there's the thing. They're doing a lot of psychological games on players. I do a lot of psychological games on them. So that's just one of the things that keep it fun for me. Every time I play, there's a limit on how much I'm willing to spend. Sometimes, I'll admit it, I'm willing to lose my entire casino pot that session because I'm just quite happy to. It just depends how I feel. My casino pot is separate from my money in life. If you ever hear me talk about a casino pot, I would like to hope that one day I could grow my casino pot to some crazy level, and probably never keep it there and play big baller style forever, like big high roller style. But I firmly believe that if I continue to play patiently and responsibly, I'll have my little moment in the sun one day when it's actually super beneficial for me to play this shit. But I'm not going to spend every waking hour of every day worrying about it and stuff like that. That really would be a problem. So people with a compulsive gambling problem are compelled to keep playing to recover their money, unfortunately. A pattern that becomes increasingly destructive over time, as it will do. Especially when the games are rigged. Okay? Let's face it, if the games weren't rigged, you'd have a chance, at least, But when they're rigged, you don't have a chance, guys. So don't even bother. If you lose a lot in one of the live casino games, especially, don't even bother like playing that for a while, because they're just going to see you as a loss chaser, and they can't be told that they're wrong, and you can't ever have a proper conversation with them. So they're just going to fuck you badly, and it will be your fault because you let them. So take some personal responsibility. It's very, very important to do that. Theft or fraud to get gambling money. I mean, that's just next level, isn't it? I really hope that doesn't apply to any of my audience. But guys, if that does apply to you, I'm not judging you. We all have problems. I had a good friend who once resorted to theft because he had a problem. So I do understand how good people can get caught up in addictions. So please seek help if that is in any way, shape or form you, even if it's just thoughts at this stage. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You'll probably lose. Let's face it. If you've been losing all this time and you're now at the point where you're turning to theft or fraud to get gambling money, why do you think you're going to win? You're gambling. It's always a way for the house to win in the end, isn't it? Random games or not, I don't think they're random, are they? If the house can only win. So you've got to consider all of this, guys. Some people with a compulsive gambling problem may have periods of remission, a length of time where they gamble less or not at all. But without treatment, the remission usually isn't permanent. Anybody who gambles will have periods where they gamble less or not at all. So you've got to make sure that you're not a compulsive gambler first and foremost, because I have periods where I gamble less, periods where I gamble not at all. Last Sunday I had a casino pot of a couple of £100 and I lost like a tenner, and I thought, nah, I've had enough. I know what today's going to be like, because Sundays are usually like that. So I just played 3 games last Sunday. I only played for like half an hour and I was happy, just mucking about playing 3 games. So try that, guys. If you feel like you're having trouble, try some 3 games. Maybe it's not even the money that you're seeking. Maybe you just want to see things nice happen in the game, and maybe you'd be happy with that. I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but for me, it's nice. It's a nice thing, just to do from time to time. Play the 3 games, even if you don't have to play them, because I think the assumption is that if you're playing 3 games then you're broke, right? But why? Why would that be the assumption? Like, when I done that one last Sunday on my favourite slot game, I wouldn't be able to afford, with my real money balance, to search that game so hard for good events. So to me, free play is a really, really valuable thing, because it just gives you a bit of time out from the real play, if you need it, and if you really want to play. Now that can be the problem for me. I really want to play. I just love playing. Like I love playing PS4 and stuff like that. I'm quite a weird type of gambler, I think. I must be, because I've looked into a lot of the deeper stuff as well, i.e. how do the gambling companies view their customers, and they view us as 3 distinct types. Okay? Casual, professional, and problem. And the actual professionals are a problem too. So the only ones they want are casual gamblers, effectively. Fun players, that's the only ones they want. And quite rightly so, because it's not meant to be a way to make money. It's not meant to be to feed someone's addiction. That's not what they provided it for, and they don't want to be encouraging that. So there's a lot of things going on in the casino world that those who don't play might not be all that aware of. So this video hopefully enlightens some, especially those who work in the industry and who have never put a bet on in their life. Denial is almost always a feature of compulsive or addictive behaviour. So I'm not going to deny that I play for quite long durations, but that's what I choose to do. Sometimes I play for short durations. Sometimes I say to myself, "Oh, that's the girls out for like the day. That granny's for the night, for the weekend. I'll wait at the shop. I'm going to get some of my favourite snacks, get a couple of like cans of beer, not get drunk, and just have a lads' night in." And involved in that will be like 4 hours of gaming. So that's what I choose to do. I realise for some people that could be worrying. It's only worrying if you don't trust yourself. That's all I'll say about it. If you don't trust yourself, then limiting your time is one of the most important things you can do. And giving yourself like stop loss or even a get out point of profit so that you don't piss all that away again. Like all these things, if you're someone who feels like you'll start to sort of hate yourself and that, you've got to have all these little safety measures in place to keep your gaming as guilt-free as possible. Risk factors. So I won't go through all these ones because they're very, very opinionated assumptions. All scientific papers can be argued against by other scientific papers, and this will be yet another one of these occasions where I could check 15 different sources and things won't quite match up perfectly, so obviously I want to talk about the complications that gambling addiction can have. Relationship problems, financial problems, including bankruptcy, obviously, legal problems or imprisonment, poor work performance or job loss. I think the legal problems or imprisonment will come with the fraud or theft aspect of someone getting that desperate through an addiction to gambling that they get in trouble with the law over it. Obviously, financial problems is self-explanatory in games that you pay cash. And relationship problems, I hope, is self-explanatory, because in a relationship, when one person is an addict to anything, particularly if the other one isn't a fan of that particular vice, that always causes friction. And so, if your spouse is an alcoholic and you don't touch a drink, I don't think you're going to stay together. If your spouse is playing casino too much and you are staunchly against gambling, I think that's not going to work either. But it's important we care for each other and don't just look for a way to ditch each other for every little imperfection. So, work on your relationships, guys, because you never know. You never know. They maybe could be sorted out. Maybe that person can help you get over whatever addiction you have. After all, they wouldn't be nagging you if they didn't care about you. So, poor work performance or job loss. It's never applied to me. The closest thing that ever came to that was when a casino who was determined to find out everything about me after I started this channel just tried to put me through a bit of a mill. And that needs its own video, actually. And they phoned me when I was at my work, and I says to my head chef, "Can I take this call? These guys won't leave me alone if I don't." He's like, "Aye, that's no problem." So that wasn't a problem that day, but maybe my work performance suffered for those 5 minutes with my phone under my neck while I was flipping noodles, I think, in a pan, whatever. Yeah, no, but seriously, it hasn't happened. Poor general health hasn't happened. I mean, they would have liked to. I think the games that I've been playing like lately would have liked for me to have gotten to a bad state over things, which could quite easily have happened with what I've been through in the gaming this year, had I not had the level of self-control I do. So I'm thankful for my level of self-control, because I do think the games I've been playing this year are designed to push people towards the brink in life, in gambling life, i.e. proper mental torture. these games are actually inflicting upon people on purpose. That's quite crazy. But anyway, suicide attempts, or suicidal thoughts, it all ties in with what I just said. I don't like the idea that the games are designed that people go away and kill themselves, but they seem to be. So prevention. There's no proven way to prevent it. If you feel that you've got addictive problems, you're best just to not touch these things that you're addicted to, gambling included. So, and obviously seek help. So we'll go to the GamCare forum now. I'm not going to go through all that again as if I do have a problem. Let's just imagine that I hit like 4 of these risk factors and don't be negative to all of them like I actually am, right? So, oh my goodness, I've chased losses. Is that a problem? I thought that's just what you did. Right, okay, right, I chased losses and I feel helpless and guilty and anxious, and that's why I gamble. Let's just pretend that's me. And I've been trying to cut down on gambling, I can't stop, and I'm trying to control, cut back, and I'm feeling restless and irritable. So let's just say I'm hitting 4 of them now. So I'm starting to worry about myself. But probably would I be doing this unless I was having that light bulb moment, that self-reflection where I finally admit that I've got a problem. Then would a compulsive gambler be actually doing this right now? I hope so, guys. It's so important you self-reflect. So let's just pretend I hit 4 of these now. I'm off to the GamCare forum, which I found earlier. So, what can we say here? This is a UK based forum, so it's relevant to me. New members intro forums. So I might want to go into that, join, create an account and say hello. I've been playing Big Baller since March and now I've lost my house, my 4 cars, I've no milk in my fridge, I've no cigarettes, I've sold all my baseball caps, I stole from an old granny down the street so I could go and put money into the bank and deposit into the casino to play baller. So let's just pretend all that, right? And that's my introduction. So it's there for you guys. Okay? This guy's or lady has lost 150k. Let's just read this. I've been grappling with a gambling addiction that has cost me over $150,000, leaving me feeling at rock bottom. My struggle has been long and challenging, marked by numerous attempts to quit and painful relapses. Despite the severity of my situation, I've come to realise that overcoming this addiction alone is nearly impossible. Correct, well done, friend. It's really hard to overcome addictions alone. It's just like it's really hard to get fit alone. You need a buddy, you need some help, you at least need a helpline or something sometimes in life when you're having certain challenges. So get help, guys. I'm glad this person has taken this step. This is really encouraging for this person. I'm now reaching out for support and encouragement as I embark on the journey of recovery. For years, I've hidden my addiction, struggling in silence, but I understand that acknowledging the problem is a first step towards healing. My faith has been a guiding light, though it has been tested. I trust in the power of God's grace and the strength of community support to help me through this difficult time. Well, I'm not a religious man, but I'm glad this person's faith in God is helping them through this. I do question why someone with such faith in God was gambling, but hey, I am quite a sceptical individual. This group represents a new beginning for me, a chance to connect with others who understand and to build a supportive network. I am committed to overcoming my addiction, letting go of past losses. So important what that person just said. If you can somehow treat each casino deposit as an intended spend, like on a football ticket. So £20, £30 for a football ticket, to go to the stadium and see your team. And you'll also spend money at the pie stand and, you know, £4 for a coffee and stuff. Let's just leave the food out of it. See your casino play like a football ticket, and understand you can't just keep buying football tickets. Then that'll be a big help towards you understanding what this is, what it is in reality, and how it isn't that thing that you've been treating it as. And finding a path to peace and renewal. If you've faced similar challenges or have advice to offer, I welcome your support as I work towards recovery. What a nice first post from someone, and that was just recently, a few days ago. Jeez, oh, hi mate, I know how you feel. I've lost over 400k. Wow. After joining here, I am 18 days gambling free. Gambled over 7 years. 400k in 7 years. To put it into perspective, guys, as a responsible casino gamer, gambler, I don't think I've even got any losses over 7 years. So that's what the difference between being responsible and irresponsible can do for you. I wouldn't say I've got much profits over 7 years, but I wouldn't like to think there's very much losses at all. There cannot possibly be. So I'm not going to lie, these 18 days have been hard, but I'm sure life later on, this will get easier. Good luck to you, stay strong and focused, and let's beat this horrible addiction for good. Oh my goodness, the guy relapsed today. Well, that's not encouraging, is it? So, don't know what he means by lost it all. He's already lost. Obviously, the person has money if they're able to lose that amount of money. So there's a forum that people can go to anyway, and just look what's happening there. That person has found another that he can talk to. He's still relapsed, but then someone will reply to his relapse post, and then that's what a community is. Also, you've got this for the likes of me, for the likes of the casino gamblers who are in control of their behaviour, however it may look to Evolution Gaming, etc., who is in control of his behaviour. Probably be a great resource for me. I have joined it, so I might put some of my videos up on this, see what they think of it, guys? But anyway, staying on topic, I don't hit any of those. If you do, please go to the resource helps that are there for you. Let's see what's on YouTube. Cat videos. Just checking there wasn't anything dodgy that I had to cancel this video for, such as yoga. No, I seem to get a lot of yoga videos, to be honest, popping up these days on YouTube. What can I look for? Spot signs of gambling addiction. Four-minute video. Let's just do the 4-minute video. We can wrap.
Are you concerned that you have a gambling problem? If you are, then in today's video, we're going to talk about the 10 warning signs that you need to watch out for.
Gonna speed up.
Before I begin, I just want to state that I'm not a medical professional, and this is not professional medical advice. I have a lot of links in the description to help you be able to discern more about your situation, but this is just a bit of an educational
Now
video
he's
to help you
speaking at
understand more about
Scottish
what your
speak.
situation could be. A gambling disorder is officially recognized by the American Psychiatric Association as a real mental health condition, and it's defined by a repeated pattern of gambling behavior that's causing significant stress or harm in your life. The following test is the self-assessment version of the NORC Diagnostic Screen for Gambling Disorders, and it's based on the APA's DSM-5 diagnostic criteria for pathological gambling. It asks 10 questions to help you discern if you have a gambling problem. As we go through each question, mark it as a yes or no. And for every yes that you have, that's a score of 1. And at the end of the video, I'll share what each score means. Have there ever been periods lasting 2 weeks or longer when you spent a lot of time thinking about your gambling experiences, planning out future gambling ventures or bets, or thinking about ways of getting money to gamble with? Have there ever been periods when you needed to gamble with increasing amounts of money or with larger bets than before in order to get the same feeling of excitement? Have you ever felt restless or irritable when trying to stop, cut down, or control your gambling? Have you tried and not succeeded in stopping, cutting down, or controlling your gambling 3 or more times in your life? Have you ever gambled to escape from personal problems or to relieve uncomfortable feelings such as guilt, anxiety, helplessness, or depression? Has there ever been a period when if you lost money gambling one day, you would often return another day to get even? Have you lied to family members, friends, or others about how much you gamble and or about how much money you lost on gambling on at least 3 occasions?
Have you ever
written a bad check or taken money that didn't belong to you from family members, friends, or anyone else in order to pay for your gambling? Has your gambling ever caused serious or repeated problems in your relationships with any of your family members or friends?
No.
Or has your gambling ever caused you problems at work or your studies?
No.
And lastly, have you ever needed to ask family members, friends, a lending institution, or anyone else to loan you money or otherwise bail you out of a desperate money situation that was largely caused by your gambling? So now just take a moment and compile your score. How many answers did you answer yes? And for each yes, mark that as a score of 1.
So, he just threw me there. Let's go back to the very last thing. Actually, gambling has largely bailed me out of sticky financial situations and given me big wins at the most brilliant times. I've been lucky that way. I've been really lucky that way. But it's never put me in a desperate situation caused by it, because I always gamble responsibly.
Caused by your gambling. So now just take a moment and compile your score. How many answers did you answer yes?
None.
And for each yes, mark that as a score of 1. Now by adding up your score, you'll have a number, and I'll now share what each different number means based on your score. A score of 0 indicates the results are not consistent with problematic levels of gambling. A score of 1 or 2 means the results are consistent with mild but subclinical risk for gambling problems. A score of 3 or 4 indicates results are consistent with moderate but subclinical gambling problems. A score of 5 or higher means that results are consistent with a likely diagnosis of pathological gambling, consistent with the diagnostic criteria of the DSM-5. And the highest possible score is 10. Now it's important.
So I did not even know that if you hit, say, 1 to 4, that's not considered a clinical gambling problem. Now that's interesting. I don't even hit any of them, but I could have hit up to 4 and I still wouldn't be a problem gambler who could be labelled as such. Just maybe who was someone who maybe the casinos would need to keep an eye on, or someone who friends and family might be a bit concerned about, i.e. before I started doing these videos I looked a bit like that, because people are so, in the UK, people are so ignorant to casino gaming, but they're so up on the Grand National and football betting and scratch cards and bingo. Like, that's what the UK is all about. But rambling again, it's interesting that there's clinical risk and subclinical risk. If you find yourself in the 1 to 4 category, it's worth checking yourself extra vigilantly to make sure you're not stepping over that threshold into perhaps 5, 6, the clinical risk category.
Important for me to state that no matter what your score is, it's not about shame. It's not about feeling bad about that. It's about recognizing what you're related.
And I'm not here saying this to show, like, look how great I am because I'm not a problem gambler. What I'm saying is, as a gambling video creator, as I've become on YouTube latterly, I feel it's my personal responsibility to make this video and to run through it with you, to show the level of honesty that I'm going to provide to you on this channel. And you need to be that honest with yourself. Maybe you can't be as outwardly honest as I am. Not everybody's as stupid as me, but at least be honest with yourself when you look in the mirror. And you'll not go too far wrong after that. As long as you can be honest with yourself, I think good things can happen after that, guys.
Relationship is to gambling, and offering you an opportunity to seek help. Now, in the description, I have a ton of links for you based on different countries to help you get connected to professionals who can help. I hope you found today's video helpful, and I just want to say once again, no matter how severe your gambling problem, whether
I'm not going to
subscribe
subscribe to this guy's channel
because it can save your life.
Not that guy's channel, but I'm not going to subscribe to this Game Quitters channel. But that's there for you guys. If you want to quit all forms of gaming and stuff like that, gambling, this looks like a really good, no, not ITV, but Game Quitters.
Britain has the biggest regulated online gambling market in the world, worth an estimated £5.4 billion a year, with thousands of apps and sites available 24/7. And instead of going to the bookies or casinos or to the races to place our bets, many of us are using our smart...
Dundee United is quite a big football team in Scotland, historically. They're maybe not so big right now as they were in the 80s, but they're still one of Scotland's big 5-6 clubs. They have just got promoted to the Premier League again after a couple of years out of the league. And their sponsor is Quinn Casino. And the leagues and cups in Scotland are often sponsored by bookies, and gambling is a massive, massive, massive thing in the UK. Huge. I'm not going to watch that whole Ross Kemp thing. I don't like hearing about people being that silly, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I know it's a real addiction, but don't be that silly. You've got to face yourself in the mirror. That should wrap up this video. I'm going to jump onto social media now, and remember, this video's got a bit too long, but remember that things exist on social media to help as well if you feel like you've got some sort of problem with anything, really. There's lots and lots of resources out there for people now. There's no need to suffer alone, whether you've got a problem with alcohol, gambling, drugs, relationships, anxiety, mental illness. The list goes on and on, all the different problems we can have in life as humans. But remember, there's social media can help, YouTube can help, specialist websites can help. If you're going to play happy spinning, hopefully you're winning. If you're not going to play, then just be happy. Try and be happy, do something else. I am. So I'm going to just muck about now online and go to bed really soon, because it's usually my bedtime soon anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. See you all later. Cheers. Like and subscribe. Peace.